Our big focus at 1, at least 8 people were injured in a clash between task force volunteers of the Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee and radical Sikh activists this morning during the 30th anniversary of the Army's Operation Bluestar at the Golden Temple. The clashes started over a dispute over who will speak first. Simranjeet Singh Mann wanted to speak during the function and even tried to snatch the mic reportedly from the Jagirdar. Following this, Mann supporters barged in and clashes broke out between the two groups. Akali Dal spokesperson Prem Singh Chandu Majra said strict action will be taken against those indulging in violence, even if they are from the Akali Dal.
जो आज गोल्डन टेम्पल में ये घटना हुई है, ये बहुत मंदभागी है, दुखदाई है और जो लोग भी दोषी पाए जाएंगे उन पर एक्शन लिया जाएगा। जिन्होंने वो मर्यादा तोड़ी होगी, श्री अकाल तख्त साहब के जथेदार उसकी छानबीन करेंगे और जो भी वो आगे डायरेक्शन देंगे, शिरोमणि अकाली दल उसको पालना करेगा, उसको लागू करेगा।
Unfortunate clashes inside the Golden Temple this morning on the 30th anniversary of Operation Bluestar. For more, we have with us Manaman Sangchina, who's joining us live from the ground. We also have with us Gaurav Sawant and our National Affairs Editor Javed Ansari from our studios. I'm going to come to you first, Manaman Sangchina. Finally, peace has been restored inside the Golden Temple, but tempers clearly running high. The entire region is really sensitive. You're also telling us that riot police is present outside the temple.
Yes, Simi, indeed, the riot police and the regular Amritsar police has been put in force outside the Golden Temple. It is pretty calm out there right now. These tempers had flared early in the morning when the ardas to the bhog was being performed by the Jathedar Akal Takht inside the Akal Takht. And when Simranjeet Singh Mann wanted to make a speech, the president of Shiromani Akali Dal, which was not allowed, and therefore this clash took place. Right now, there is complete peace inside the Golden Temple, and though the police is present in force outside the temple, things are pretty calm right now.
All right, things currently calm. Gaurav Sawant, I'd like to get you into this discussion at this point. You know, the reason why the Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee probably tried to stop Simran Singh Mann from making a speech is because they assumed that it would be something inflammatory, and considering how tense the situation is on the ground, they wanted to avoid that.
Well, this is the 30th anniversary of Operation Bluestar. Sensitive times, the country has moved on, the people have moved on, but Simranjeet Singh Mann, and there is a faction in Punjab that is, you know, once again trying to ensure that those memories come back. There is another faction that also talks about terror being revived in the state, and that is something that the Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee and the Shiromani Akali Dal trying to ensure that that does not happen. As Manaman Sangchina was also telling us, there was an intelligence alert, and as Simranjeet Singh Mann tried to snatch the mic, he was prevented. A handful of his supporters came out brandishing swords, and they were just pushed out and pushed back.
All right, let's also get a word from our National Affairs Editor Javed Ansari, who's joining us in our studios this afternoon. Javed Ansari, politically speaking, how important is this debate at this point? There are also people who are demanding a UN inquiry into the 1984 riots and also what happened inside the Golden Temple then.
Look, like my colleague Gaurav Sawant was saying, the country has moved on. It was a very sad chapter, a very sorry chapter in our lives, and all of us as Indians would pray and hope that this never visits us again. So I don't know what a UN inquiry will, what ends it will serve, a UN inquiry, but certainly there are still cases pending in courts of the anti-Sikh riots in 1984, and all those responsible should be brought to book immediately.
And a UN inquiry is completely not done. This is an internal matter of this country. There is no way that the United Nations can get involved. Let me quickly bring in senior journalist Satish Jacob, an eyewitness to what happened during Operation Bluestar. Satish Jacob, what do you make of a clash between two factions within the Golden Temple 30 years later?
I don't think that we should take any notice of this. It's a very minor decision. You know, you must know that Simranjeet Singh Mann, who actually caused this minor clash, he has been a kind of a, a loner kind of a guy. He was a police IPS officer, brilliant officer. He suddenly chucked his job and decided to back Bhimrawale in the old days. And after the demise of Bhimrawale, he tried to start his own little group. and he has been championing the cause of Bhindranwale, and he is one person who keeps on talking about that how the minority community, the Sikhs, have been given a very bad deal by independent India. But the point is, he is a loner, he's a maverick, and he hardly has any following. So what I think that is just one of those small incidents, and I don't think it's going to make any impact on the politics of Punjab.
Absolutely unlikely to make any impact on the politics of Punjab, but a fringe hardliner managing to orchestrate something so drastic on the 30th anniversary of Operation Bluestar, definitely a cause of concern.
Satish Jacob, clearly is this an attempt by a fringe element to try and take centre stage, and this is more for control of Harmandir Sahib, as H.S. Pulka of the Aam Aadmi Party was making out? Does he have a case there?
I think, I think that, the central story of Bhindranwale's agitation was exactly about the control of the Golden Temple and SGPC. You remember that he was put up by certain individuals in the Congress party to embarrass the Akali Dal, and he fought an election for SGPC, but he was trounced. So the whole struggle, in the beginning between the establishment of SGPC and Bhindranwale was exactly on the control of the Golden Temple. And some elements are still cherishing that thought that perhaps they will be able to oust Akali Dal or the SGPC and take over the historic temples. Because you must remember that millions and millions of rupees come through the arms and incomes of historic temples all over Punjab and all over India. And that money goes to finance the Akali Dal, the politics, and the control of all the gurdwaras and things like that. So this is the problem, but this has nothing to do with the unity of India.
Absolutely, this has nothing to do with the unity of India. These are just fringe elements creating trouble on an important day inside the Golden Temple. Javed Ansari, our National Affairs Editor, is also with us in our studios. Javed Ansari, is this likely to have any impact on politics as far as Punjab is concerned? The government, though, saying this is an extremely regrettable situation, whatever happened this morning.
This has political undertones. Mr. Simranjit Singh Man's attempt to try and, strong arm his way into the Golden Temple and to get hold of that mic. But elections are far away, and I'm not so sure, like Satish was saying, nobody knows Punjab better and this whole episode better than Satish Jacob. And like he was saying, I totally agree with him. I'm not so sure if this will have any major impact. This is a futile attempt on the part of Mr. Mawan. He's been on the fringes, and I guess he will continue to remain so.
Absolutely. And politics apart, Manaman Singh China, this is a cause of concern as far as security is concerned. People in such large numbers managing to take out brandished swords and get into a sword fight inside a holy shrine is a cause of concern.
Well, Simi, the Golden Temple is the last place where swords or kirpans would be banned in the Sikh religion. These are enshrined in the Sikh religion, and a baptized Sikh has every right to carry a sword or a small kirpan on his person. So that is not a cause for concern. But in the past, there have been clashes between Simranjit Singh Man's group and the SGPC people. Turbans have been tossed. But in the recent past, at least, swords have not been used on each other. This was perhaps the first time. So perhaps the SGPC needs to lay down some ground rules as far as brandishing these swords are concerned. However, in unsheathed form, I do not think they would be able to stop them from being taken inside the Golden Temple complex.
Man, you've also been speaking to your sources in the intelligence agencies. For several months now, there have been reports about arrests being made in parts of Punjab, about suspected ISI agents or handlers, being detained. Is there an attempt, no matter how feeble, to revive terrorism in Punjab? And can that be successful?
As far as the support to the militant organizations is concerned and to terrorists is concerned, there is no doubt whatsoever in the minds of the intelligence outfits here in Punjab that there is widespread support from the NRIs who are settled abroad, specifically in Europe and in Canada, and from there financial support is coming through, and of course there is a link between them and the ISI of Pakistan. This is not being denied by anybody. However, on the ground there is very little support for these elements, but This does not mean that they will not try to foster trouble here, and for that the Punjab police has forever to be on the alert.
Satish Jacob, an attempt to revive terror in Punjab. There was an IB report some time back that talked about drugs and weapons being smuggled into Punjab. Is that a genuine fear that terrorists are once again trying to regroup?
No, Gaurav, I don't think so. Frankly, I mean, luckily, I think it is basically the movement, if you can really call it a movement for separatist groups. It is more popular among the diaspora Sikhs in the UK and America and other places. But I don't think that there is any element of separatist movements or any chance of this being revived in India. I think there is a very serious problem, economic problem in Punjab because the production of agriculture production has gone down. The quality of the agricultural land is not as good as it used to be. The yield is going down, and this is because of the overuse of chemical fertilizers. And also the young people do not have any jobs. They are frustrated. They sit idly in their little farms. The income has diminished, and now they are resorting to having drugs. And drug is a huge problem, and that has to be tackled not just by the Punjab government. I think the central government should also take note of that, and we have to nip it in the bud. Otherwise, that will create another serious problem in Punjab.
All right, our correspondent Manaman Singh Jina is joining us from the ground there. Manaman, radical Sikh outfit Dal Khalsa had called for a shutdown or a band in Amritsar today. Has that come into effect, or is life going on as normal?
Well, Sibi, the life is going on as normal. There has been little or no effect whatsoever of this call for Dal Khalsa. It has very little support across the spectrum in Punjab. And as Satish Jacob was earlier saying, there is very little chance for any groundswell to come in support for any separatist movement, and people generally ignore such calls for bunds from these hardline elements.
All right, Manaman Singh Jina, thanks so much for giving us the latest from the ground. Now, on the 30th anniversary of Operation Bluestar, Headlines Today brings you the most comprehensive documentation ever of one of the most debated and controversial Indian military operations.